My favorite systems are the ones that just work together. In hospitality, you've got reservations, service, payments, rotas, stock, reporting, and when none of them talk to each other, things get messy fast. Square's restaurant point of sale helps connect front and back of house, and it integrates with over 100 hospitality tools, including platforms like OpenTable, Tenzo, and Stampede. Less time chasing information, more time creating great experiences for your guests. Square does the Square stuff, so you don't have to. They're offering up to £4,000 in free hardware to eligible businesses to get you started. Head to square.com to learn more. Restaurants are where life happens. First dates, birthdays, breakups, celebrations, the places we go to feel something. But behind every busy dining room is another story entirely. Over the last few months, I've been traveling across the UK, meeting some of the most exciting people in hospitality, the people holding this industry together. And honestly, I found myself asking the same question over again. How the hell do you actually stay open? Right now, hospitality is hard, margins are tight, everyone's burnt out, and yet somehow people keep showing up. In this series, we're sitting down with some of the country's most loved restaurants to talk about what it really takes. The good bits, the chaos, the money, the pressure, the passion, and why, despite everything, they still wouldn't do anything else. I'm Natalia Ribbe, and this is the Staying Open podcast for restaurant owners, restaurant lovers, and everyone in between. This is the Staying Open podcast. I'm your host, Natalia, and we find ourselves today in Newcastle, a first for me. We are at Pablo Eggsgobao. I mean, what a great name for a business. Hopefully you can figure out what they serve here. Eggs in bao, but we'll get onto that later. We are joined by the founder of Pablo Eggsgobao, Emma Dent, and we're going to talk about her story, how it started, how it's going, where it's going, and I'm sure lots of other things in between. So welcome to the podcast, Emma.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good? Good morning?
Yeah.
Good start to the day?
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's just jump in here. Where are you from? Because you don't sound Geordie.
No. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Big fan of South Africa. Got lots of lovely South African friends. How long have you been in the UK for?
I've been here for 8 years now.
8 years.
Yeah.
And you moved straight from Johannesburg to Newcastle?
Straight from Seychelles to...
Sorry, wasn't expecting
Seychelles.
that.
Yeah. I moved straight from Seychelles to here, and I've been in Newcastle ever since.
What were you doing in the Seychelles?
I was doing set design for a Saudi royal, like in his compound.
Wow.
Yeah.
A set design. Were they just like putting on theatrical performances in their compound?
Yeah, he had like a theatre, and he would fly acts from around the world to his theatre.
Well, that is an incredible job.
It
How
is.
long did you do that for?
Probably a year or so.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I met a chef.
You met a chef.
I met the chef for him, and then I ended up in Newcastle.
So the chef for this Saudi royal was this person called...
Edward.
You met a chef, which is always a terrible idea. I can say from experience. And Edward and you fell in love?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
And is he from Newcastle?
He is.
Okay, and then you were like...
Let's go to Newcastle.
Wild.
Yeah.
Had you been to Newcastle before?
Never.
I love this for you. We're going on an adventure.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, so you moved to Newcastle. And did you start working in restaurants while you were here? I mean, you've come from set design and then moved to this new place?
No, so I went back to what I had always done, which is working in bars. Before, like when I was studying and doing like the whole being a student thing, I was always working in bars. I finished my degree and then tried to leave hospitality. I feel like most people try to leave hospitality.
They try.
Yeah, try beta
But we
operative.
always reel them back in.
Yeah.
Also, for any of you listening just on audio, this is a working business. So you might hear prep noises in the background, people chopping things moving. They're very busy. Right, so you tried to leave and then it sucked you back in. You're working in bars.
So when I came here, I just fell back on into what I knew in general, which was working in bars.
Also a great way to make friends, especially in a new city.
Absolutely.
Socialize, get to know like the heartbeat of the city.
Yeah. I did that for a bit, and then my partner at the time. Well, no, not at the time. My partner.
The partner still to this day?
Yes.
It's lasted.
Yes.
Which is great.
Thank goodness.
So you've been together for 9 years, I would assume?
Yeah, 8.
8.
I knew him for a month, and then we.
You knew him for a month, and then you moved to Newcastle.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with you. I'm such a romantic, so I would totally do something like that. I have done something like that. That one didn't work out, but I'm still hopeful.
It'll happen.
It will happen.
It will happen.
It will.
Yeah.
I'm very busy at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Edwin.
Edward.
Edward?
Edward.
Edward. Sorry, I'm American. I don't speak English. Edward. You and Edward, you're living in Newcastle. You're working in bars. Mm-hmm. You're having a lovely time.
So he came back here because he wanted to try his hand at opening a restaurant. He'd been working in the private industry, and so the next step was to independently own something.
How old were you both at this point in time?
I was 23.
Okay.
And he was 25.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So we came back here, and he got a tiny premises that had maybe like 10 seats.
Wow.
It was actually like 2 bars next to each other, sort of.
Yeah.
And he opened up that space. But the refit was taking a really, really long time. And there's a street food scene here in Newcastle.
Yeah.
And so we had the opportunity to pop up somewhere and set up a business, I guess. But basically, we were just trying to do the catering for this one pop-up. I had no experience in the kitchen whatsoever. And then we gave it a name, and I started to do that. Obviously, he was opening the restaurant, so...
And was this pop-up, this wasn't Pablo Eggsgobao?
No.
No, it was a completely different pop-up.
He taught me about bao buns, basically, and Asian food.
Okay.
And so I started to make traditional bao buns. And after the pop-up, I was really astonished that we didn't make a lot of money in that pop-up, but we still made more than I made in the whole week working in a bar. Mm. So I was like, whoa, like it had never occurred to me to do anything for myself at all. But I saw that and I was like, right, this is definitely what I'm going to be doing.
And so you kind of got the bug for being an entrepreneur, or for like working in the food side of business?
If I'm being honest, the entrepreneurship piece, because it was actually quite hard learning about food, especially because I was doing it predominantly by myself. Yeah. So after we did this pop-up, he taught me stuff about chefing and cooking and all that jazz. And then I started to arrange to go to different places and do different things. But in that process, like learning about like knife skills, or like things being hot, things that you take for granted. I think once you've been cooking for a long time, it doesn't occur to you the challenges, like the very basic challenges of cooking. So that coupled with also then running a little business, and then the physicality of moving it around everywhere, because it was like in a tent, like a gazebo setup. But yeah, anyways, I did that for a year and a half, and just pushed it to get it bigger and bigger and bigger. And some days I was doing like 3 events in a day.
Wow.
Yeah. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about food storage, food safety, cooking, cleaning. Probably could have focused on the cleaning element more. Like it was a lot. It was very, very busy.
And I guess, how are you like marketing this at this point in time?
Just Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you like pretty hot on the socials? Like, was that your thing? No.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, it was also like very ad hoc. So you'd pop up at events. So like people would be going to an event for the actual event, not for
you.
What you were doing. Do you know what I mean?
What kind of events were you doing?
Everything, like markets to beer festivals to, I don't know, like weddings, pop-ups at breweries. I did a lot of those. Pop-ups in like sometimes distilleries or breweries don't have like kitchens.
Food offer, yeah.
So I'd do that. And while I was doing that, I was in like industrial estates in the middle of nowhere, trying to educate people on what a bao bun was and what hoisin was, stuff like that. You know what I mean? It was quite challenging actually to get people to try these different foods that they'd not really heard of. Because the food scene 8 years ago in Newcastle was very different.
What was it like 8 years ago?
Small.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite small. There's always been like a few really good places, but it's a totally different environment now.
And did Edward then end up opening this
Yeah.
10-seat site while you're
While I was doing
hustling
that.
around?
Yeah.
So he's opened this. I also want to come back to this that you're talking about, obviously educating people on bao buns and hoisin and
Yeah.
I guess, you are South African.
Yeah.
Edward is English. So
Yes.
you fall in love with this style of cuisine. And yes, you're educating yourself then on it.
Absolutely.
How did you go about doing that to make sure that it was like, I guess, authentic and that, you were...
Well, my partner who taught me everything,
Yeah.
the premise for his restaurant was an Asian restaurant.
Okay.
So he showed me how to make stuff, and then I stuck to that like glue because I didn't have the knowledge or the skills to cook anything else, really.
Yeah.
And because he's very good at what he does, he gave me amazing recipes to follow.
Right. And he had spent lots of time in Asia when he was in the sort of private chefing sector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know he spent about 6 weeks at a culinary school in Thailand. Where he worked, he would get sent off to learn at different places and spaces so that he could be the best private chef he could be.
Yeah. So that he'd have, because obviously when you're a private chef, you need to be able to cook basically everything.
Yeah. Really well as well.
Yeah,
like
really.
Super fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he passes on his knowledge to you. You run like the wind with it. You create this. What was the name of it? This pop-up.
It was called Kogarashi.
Kogarashi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And start building up like quite a following with that. Were you getting then asked to do lots of events, or was there like still a lot of hustle behind it?
I was getting asked to do all sorts of events. In that process of about a year and a half, I was always pushing to have another tent set up so that I could attend 2 events at once. I built a little wooden hut in a brewery, and I was doing that too. So like it was expanding, it was getting bigger and bigger in its own way, and that was really, really hard, but it was really good. I really enjoyed making it bigger, even though it was quite challenging.
And you're profitable. You're doing these pop-ups and you're profitable. In fact, did at any point in time were you like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore?
The whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time. Oh my goodness. No, it was hard. Like it was so much hard work. The physicality of like hoisting your grills, your tables, setting up your tent, like tying everything down. The weather outside in the UK is gnarly. Like it's freezing cold.
Especially in the north of England.
It's windy. It was like always hard work. And then also I was fresh to the UK, so I didn't have anything outside of what it was that I was doing. And I was like, what on earth am I doing?
How did you like keep going? Like what's the mentality there to just keep going?
Keep going. I mean, what else would you do? Also, I was making money. I'd always been like, just like a broke person. And then I started to make money and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Do you know, like, yeah, money.
My friend, because we have a lot of conversations around money, and I think that it can be like quite a challenging subject for a lot of people. And she put it in such a beautiful way that I feel like made it less icky for me, is that like money is freedom.
Yeah.
And it just gives you that ability to, feel free, I guess.
Gives you options.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to not have to pick the cheapest thing or limit your exposure to what you can and can't do because of the finance piece. Yeah.
So you're doing Kogarashi for about a year and a half. And then
COVID.
Then lockdown happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then COVID happens.
What happened? Obviously, your whole business model is just
Events.
Events, which
Yeah, massive groups of people.
not going to happen during the COVID. No.
Yeah.
When that happened, I remember, like, obviously, I had a pop-up restaurant at the time, and I remember my ex and I, like, just sat on the couch watching the television, and he just, like, I just remember his face just, like, froze over, and it was, like, this panic. I think I hadn't really processed the thought that the fact that, like, we were fucked, basically.
Yeah.
Just watching him have, like, a meltdown, I was like, it's gonna be fine.
What do you mean? You're okay.
What do you mean? It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And obviously it was not fine, and it was, like, quite a scary time.
Yeah.
Well, how was that? You're still new to the UK. You've got a burgeoning business that's doing really well, and now it's basically just
Gone. Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird time. I was so burnt out by the time COVID happened that it was great to have a few weeks off, if I'm being completely honest. But then it was very much like back to business because of how I was set up as a sole trader. So the support wasn't really there.
no.
So that's when the idea of popping up in my boyfriend's restaurant happened.
Okay.
Yeah. So his restaurant was very fancy and it was open from midday. So I was able to use the space before that, which meant I needed to open quite early and be done by 11. So that's what we did. And then because of doing kogarashi for so long, I really figured out what I didn't want to do for the next thing. And what I didn't want to do was have to educate people every time I was making a sale on what it was that they were eating.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give the people what they wanted. So hence breakfast in a bao bun. The bao bun I was already super familiar with, and it was nice and niche, like a good USP. And then breakfast in it just is so simple and easy to give to people. And then also at the time, like nowhere was open at 7 in the morning and very few places did breakfast. There's a massive gap in the market. So yeah.
And did you do like lots of recipe testing before you launched this, or was it sort of like we're in lockdown,
Yeah.
let's just go?
Lots of recipe testing because it's so simple. It needs to be right. So all different cuts of bacon, of sausage, different ways of cooking egg. Yeah.
And did you call it Pablo Eggsgobao, like straight off the...
Yes.
I need to hear the story of coming up with this name because it's just genius.
Oh, well, at the time, I was watching a lot of TV because it was lockdown.
And it was Narcos, right?
Yeah.
So addicted to that show.
It was so good. It was
I mean,
really
like, I
good.
hate sitting here saying it was so good to watch this, like, murderous, horrible, drug-dealing man
Yes.
on television, but I was hooked.
It was a great story.
Yes, it was a great story.
Every time I heard the word Escobar, I just heard Eggsgobao. Just because of what I did all day, every day. It was like bao buns. So yeah, that's where it came from. Simple as that.
Okay, so you've got the name. You're like Pablo Eggsgobao.
Yeah.
We've got it sorted. We've done all the recipe testing. Now, when did you launch from Edward's restaurant?
15th of June, 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd taken some time off,
Few weeks.
few weeks,
Yeah.
and then started recipe testing, building this up, sorting
Yeah.
out the name, sorting out branding. Was it the same branding that you have today, or?
No. It was different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just stuck like a magnet thing on the window, and then that was that. Printed an A4 menu. Like it was very ad hoc.
Yeah. Like, talk me through day one.
What, of opening?
Yeah.
We put a post up online and just hung out in the shop. I mean, the goal was just to cover our expenses.
Yeah. Was
Because-
Edward helping you?
Day one, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he was there, of course. The goal was just to cover expenses, so there was no like massive emphasis on what it was that we were doing. And day one, I think maybe we served 10 people,
Okay.
and then day two was just a completely different story. And it just grew and grew and grew and grew from there. And over the next few weeks, it got completely out of hand.
In what way?
It's just really busy. And people were freaking out because of queues, you know, and like the neighbors were like, what's going on here? Like, you guys are not meant to be out, let alone enjoying yourselves. You're going to give me COVID. I don't know. We had the cops come around. Like, the cops were called all the time because people were convinced that we were doing bad stuff. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
You're just selling eggs and bao buns.
Selling food, man.
It was the name, Pablo Eggsgobao.
But yeah, that's just kind of how it went.
And like when you say queues, I mean, like, how many people are we talking?
Lots. I didn't really have time even to look, if I'm being honest. Like, it was just head down in the grills making food.
And you in the grill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, this was now my first foray into like hiring people properly and trying to manage all of it. And it was so busy that it was really tricky actually to like focus on everything all at once because the volume was just on really like turned all the way up, you could say. So yeah, we were there for until November. So that's 5 months.
Yeah.
And then we opened up in Whitley Bay. So during that also, we were setting up another shop.
So you, obviously the demand is there, and you were like, cool, we need to move this because I can't keep using.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable in
Yeah.
Edward's restaurant.
No.
Is it still there, the pop-up? No, because you just moved it entirely.
Yeah, when I say this place is small, it was like this big.
She's
Like
we're-
total.
For those of you listening online, she literally just stretched her arms out.
Yeah.
So size of the place where you're doing the pop-up was so small. You obviously had outgrown it quite quickly.
Yes.
How, I guess, what were we talking, like 3 months? You were like, we need to find a site.
No, kind of almost immediately. As soon as we started generating income, just because we were finishing at 11, we were finishing service at 11, we needed to clean and close down and move all the stuff by like 11:30, and then the gents needed to get set up for their fancy restaurant. Like, it's like prep and like a bunch of stuff that they needed to do.
And they opened at midday?
Yeah.
And there's no way this is happening. No, I'm sorry.
No.
Half an hour to prep and get ready for service.
Nah, not sustainable.
No.
So,
And what, and like, I'm stressed thinking about that, actually.
yeah, it was gnarly. Like, it created friction.
Friction between you and Edward.
Yeah, and his business partner.
Of course.
Yeah.
So we had to get the hell out of Dodge.
Yes.
Get out of there.
Yeah.
So you find this site in Whitley Bay, which I'm not familiar with lots of Newcastle at all. This is my first time here. Is that quite central, or is that, like, I guess, what's the vibe of Whitley Bay?
It's a little seaside town.
Is it?
Yes.
That I can understand.
Yes, you can.
As someone who lives in Margate.
It's like 20 minutes from Newcastle, 25 minutes drive.
Okay.
And I'd just been hearing at the time that it was up and coming or something, like loads of independents were heading there, or I don't know. So I went there and found an Indian takeaway, and I took that one on. But I just had I had no experience in anything really when it came to setting up a property for a restaurant, or any contacts. So it was or any money actually to set it up. So it was a journey, like it was a lot.
And obviously you're profitable, but you know, like, I mean, you're making like bao buns. Obviously, you're not going to be making that much money. Let's be real. So where did you get the money? So I think that's what really freaks a lot of people out. It's like, where are we finding funding for this? Like, you find this Indian restaurant, you have to get a deposit together, you have to get all these licenses. Like,
oh no, so I found a takeaway.
Okay.
Yeah, so I found a takeaway, and then when I was speaking to the landlord, we negotiated a year free.
A year free?
Yeah, it had been empty for a long time.
Okay.
The property was in a bad state. The windows were like broken, and it was not in good nick.
And you were like, this looks great.
This is perfect.
This is perfect for me.
So pretty low upfront costs, really, if you think about it like that. And then all of the money I was making every day would just go straight back into getting the like basics done in the shop. And to be 100% honest, like I was when I was a few years ago, I was very much more South African in the sense. What does that mean? In the sense of like, it doesn't matter if it's not proper, just get it done. And when people would turn around and say to me like, listen, you cannot do that, I'd be like says who's gonna tell, like shut up, it's fine. So yeah, that's what I did.
Just some like bold naivete.
Yeah, like I just boarded the windows up because they were broken.
And they were like, you can't do that.
Can't do that. Painted it yellow. I was like, oh, there we go, problem solved. Like the kitchen back bricks exposed and all sorts of things. They're like, you can't do that. I was like, what else am I going to do?
Can't because it didn't look nice, or can't because it, like, health and safety, or bit of both?
Bit of both. I mean, I think that even the builders that I was dealing with, I wanted to expose brick in the front of house because I thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
And there were some interesting textures on it from previous tiles that had been on it. And I was like, leave it, like it looks great. And even the builders were like, we cannot put our names to this kind of vibe. I came back to the shop the one afternoon and they were busy painting it. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, what do you mean?
I told you I liked to keep it like that.
I just wanted it completely destroyed.
I want it to look like shit.
Yeah.
No, I think that there is some, I'm very like that. I'm like, no, the exposed plaster.
Yeah, take it back to what it is.
I had this like horrible water damage on one of my walls in the restaurant and I thought it looked so cool.
Beautiful.
And the painter was like, so you need to paint over that. And I was like, what do you mean? It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's giving like, old French house.
Absolutely.
It's rustic.
You know, like freshly plastered walls.
Yeah.
That's so like what Tulum, right?
Beautiful. I love it. Can I just ask, because obviously I'm a woman in business and I run this community for women in hospitality, ladies of restaurants. You're obviously a woman in business. Did you ever feel when you were building this business that like your gender, I guess, like did you ever feel small and looked down upon? And
yes, my goodness. I would get so furious when I would arrange meetings with people and my boyfriend would come along because he was my boyfriend and they would speak to him only, even though it was...
Isn't that crazy?
Me who had arranged it. It was my thing. But yeah, so there's like loads of instances of things like that happening.
And that would have been like 2020, 2021. We're not talking decades ago. We're talking like, in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
That's still happening.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of just, how do I say this so it doesn't sound terrible? I don't know, I've leaned into it more now where sometimes I look at situations and I'm like, right, that I'll get what I need out of this scenario the best if you do this for me over here instead of me doing it. Do you know what I mean?
That's frustrating though.
Yeah.
Does it ever make you feel, like, I guess, like not good enough?
Yeah, of course. I mean, how could it not?
Yeah.
But... just got to do what you got to do, I guess. Like you can fight everyone to get it, or you can just, I don't know, use your team around you to
help push it forward.
Help push things forward, yeah.
Yeah. So you've got this takeaway site in Whitley Bay. You get it open quite quickly.
Yes.
Okay.
Very, very
what was
quickly.
the turnaround on that?
2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Relocate from Edward's Restaurant to there, and now you're out of. I assume Edward's Restaurant is city centre.
No, it's like in the burbs, close to the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, in terms of footfall, what was the jump from going from there to Whitley Bay?
Well, at this point, it had gone crazy online.
Okay.
So
Because you have quite a strong social media presence. Like I would say your branding, the whole like Instagram aesthetic, and obviously living in this sort of Gen Z world where they are quite driven by visuals. I feel like you guys really smash that. So is that when, totally hooked. Is that when that Instagram brand really started to come to life during this COVID lockdown launch?
Yeah, I feel like it's an interesting thing to describe, I guess. It started off with just me and the people that I was working with mucking about, like online. And then I just shared everyone's content, basically. That's all I did. And because people were just looking at their phones and they had nothing to do except for go on like long walks and, you know.
They were like, let's go to Whitley Bay.
Let's go here. Yeah, that's it. I truly feel like it's a timing thing, 1000%. And the socials have gone through iterations because I did it the whole time up until quite recently, actually.
You were running the social account?
Yeah, but it was just resharing people's content, tagging them in it and resharing, and then that was it. You know, but it really shows the flavor and the identity of your product because it's from the customer's perspective. And I also just shared everything. Every picture that was imperfect or messy or anything, because I'm like, this is the product, you know. I don't want you to be surprised when what you receive doesn't match what you have seen in other places. Like, it is what it is. Enjoy.
Do you feel like you have like quite a target market based around this sort of Instagram social media presence that you have created in terms of like tone and look and feel? Like, what's the age demographic?
That's also a good question. It's 25 to 35 predominantly, predominantly women online. But I am starting to tweak that a little bit or trying to explore different avenues in terms of who am I reaching online, because I think there's a large audience of people that I think predominantly people are foodies who are following it, or they've seen it from a food blogger or something like that. And what I'm trying to now tap into is more people that like tradies, or you know.
I noticed that you did like a video story with some tradies.
Yeah, like get the boys looking at the socials. I don't know, you know, just something different.
You're responsible for all of that. Like, those are all of your ideas of how to, I guess, boost the brand through Instagram.
Yes, I mean, not the actual content ideas. At this point, like, other people figure out what it is that we're going to be doing. We have a conversation, and then they execute. But I'm more directing it in terms of like, cool, these are the people that I'd like to enter into the chat.
Okay.
And then how do we do this?
Enter into the chat. I love that. These are the people I would like to enter into the chat.
Yeah.
So you opened Whitley Bay. Today, we are actually what site number was this? 2. This was 2.
Yeah.
And how many sites do you have today?
Soon to be 6.
Soon to be 6?
Yes.
That is amazing. And the majority of them are in Newcastle?
Yes.
But you have one in Edinburgh?
2.
2 in Edinburgh?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get there because I need to hear about the journey from Newcastle to Edinburgh. But how do you go, I guess, from being a pop-up, you know, cleaning down by 11:30 to get the hell out of there, to taking over a takeaway, to now having 6 sites? Like, what's the financial journey? What's the growth journey there? Like, how? Tell me your secrets.
Wow.
I mean, it's been 6 years, so you have 6, and then you have 6 sites.
Yeah. So what we have always done, we've always done the same thing until very recently, is we open a site and then all of the money that we make, we just push into the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. Each of the sites I've opened like mega on the cheap, with myself doing lots of the DIY and the setup and everything. And that's how we were able to grow, just because bootlegged, I think would be the word.
Bootlegged.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's more like, you know, solution focused. Needs must. I have a end goal, and in order to get there, I have to do
I
that.
have to do this.
Yeah.
So that's how we financed everything.
Okay. Any loans?
I took a few loans through Square, my till provider. Yeah, they offered loans based on your sales through the till.
Yep.
So I took a few of those, and that's it.
And that's it.
That is it.
Okay.
Then by 2024, I don't know what happened, but we just went absolutely nuts. We opened two like pop-up sites, so not bricks and mortar, but still much more expensive actually than I anticipated. We opened them and we took on a warehouse. This used to be our warehouse.
What's that in right now?
Yeah.
So you open these pop-up sites that aren't bricks and mortar.
Yeah.
How did Edinburgh come about?
It's the closest capital city to Newcastle.
Yes.
So
Still not that close, though.
yeah, 2.5 hour drive.
2.5 hour drive.
So not too bad.
And I think some operators would hear that as, how are you managing quality control and growth and being there? And yeah, that's something I'm very interested in.
Yeah. Well, I've hired people along the way to do these things.
Okay.
It hasn't always
it
been
takes
perfect.
people.
It does.
Are there any instances where you've hired people to help with this growth and it's completely backfired and you've had to let people go, or there have been situations where you have felt like you've made the wrong decision?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you have to go through quite a few people actually until you find the right people that fit what it is that you're doing and how you work. Like as an individual, I'm quite chaotic. People can't deal with that. Understandably, like certain people can, certain people can't. So, it's been a massive journey trying to.
Yeah, because there's not one, like, I guess, especially in hospitality, there's not one, I guess, linear way of managing people.
No.
I would say I'm quite organized, but also probably quite chaotic. Like, I'm such a WhatsApp voice note, that's how I communicate kind of person, which doesn't work for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to, I guess, find your people.
Absolutely.
Find your team.
It takes some time. It does take some time. But that's how we were focusing on building shops. And we very much left the operations and running of the sites to the people that we had hired to take care of that. Yeah.
Do you still work in the day-to-day operations ever? Or are you mainly more behind the scenes, building the shops, growing the business?
I'm behind the scenes at this point.
When did you make the jump from being on the grill to being more behind the scenes?
Very early on.
Okay.
Yeah. So I found that I wanted to work on the business and I couldn't do that if I was always working in the business. And it took years of like extracting myself from that role because, like people don't come to work.
Yes,
and
I know all about that.
And then you get called and then you go do the thing and, like it's a... but at this point now, there's like many layers of management between me and that job. So now I don't have to do that.
How many years would you say it took for you to actually fully extract yourself?
Probably about 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually quite quick, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess you said like you do have multiple operations, so you have had to put an operational team in place to, I guess, help almost build a safety net around what you're building.
Yeah. Fortunately, also the way that our menu works, it's simple. It's not fine dining.
No.
So training people to do the work is not overly complex.
Have you struggled at all with staffing? Because that is something that comes up quite a lot. Yeah, okay, just rolling our eyes.
Yeah. Yes.
How do you find people who want to work in hospitality at the moment?
Wow. Yeah.
You haven't got the answer? We're coming to you for it.
No, I don't have the answer.
Are you seeing, because obviously, yeah, I think you're right, like your business model isn't fine dining. So in terms of skill set, it can be something that's not as complicated to teach. But are you seeing people enter your business who want to work in hospitality and are happy to learn and or are they doing this as a stopgap job, or are they students, or?
Yeah, it's everything. I think that's what makes it so unpredictable managing the teams and the workforce. It's just everyone at some point will end up in the space. So some people are super burnt out from their previous hospitality job, and they like the idea of having their evenings to themselves again. So we have them. Sometimes it's students, sometimes it's people who have done a completely like warehousing and then they end up in the kitchen. So it really is a mixed bag. So it's difficult to try and manage, like people's expectations on what they're going to get out of it, especially because it's a takeaway and our menu doesn't ever change. It takes a specific kind of person who wants to do that. People who are concerned about like operational excellence, I would say, because you don't really have to focus as hard on the food as you would in a fine dining restaurant. Do you know what I mean?
The different skill set.
Yes.
And someone could start here and then end up going into fine dining. Could spark their love of this industry.
Absolutely.
In terms of, I guess, ingredients and products that you use, is that quite important to the business as well? Obviously, margins are tight, which can sometimes force people, I guess, maybe to choose the cheaper option. But have you tried to keep it?
Yeah. I've focused really hard on consistency. That is what we do. We offer the same product consistently. And that's meant we've had to work really hard to find people or suppliers who can keep up with supply. And yeah, it's consistency is the aim of my food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever do any like specials or try and mix it up? No, you're like, this is what we do. That's it. What is the next like best big chapter? I would say you're opening this, sixth site here in Newcastle. Are there cities beyond Edinburgh that you would like to open in? Is this like a national chain that we're working towards? Well,
we're actually beginning our franchising journey now.
Okay.
Yes.
And how has that come about?
Well, I've never really operated with much of a plan. In 2024, I almost sank the business.
What?
Yeah. So in order to survive that, we needed to get funding, which meant that we needed to develop a plan.
How did you almost sink the business?
I just opened too many places. I wasn't paying attention to the finances. I just assumed that we had opened more places and we'd just be able to continue, like people would just come and you'd just continue making sales. I just thought it would continue on as it had. But like there was different economic things happening at the time, different spending habits. There's so many different things happening. And then my expenses went up and I have never really been orientated towards the money. As long as it was getting made, I was opening places. But anyways, it just caught up to me. So we needed to get funding.
Okay.
And in order to get funding, you have to have a plan. And a plan that looks good on paper, I suppose. So franchising.
So you make this plan, and who do you go to then make this happen?
We reached out to everyone.
Okay.
We just went on the internet, ChatGPT, everywhere, everyone, and we came across NEL, which is like a northern fund for businesses.
Okay.
And then we went through the funding process with them.
How long did that process take?
So long. It took so long.
And at that time, like you're saying, you're sinking the business, so like cash flow is poor.
Yeah. It was horrendous. Like it took 8 months to get done. And in that period, we were struggling with cash flow. And then because of that, we couldn't meet our VAT bills, which is just like a massive punch in the gut every 3 months.
Yes, it is.
And then that started to snowball.
Yes.
So we were
I'm
trying.
very familiar with this.
Yeah. Fucking bad. So we're trying really hard to keep things going with the promise of this funding coming through, which wasn't guaranteed.
I guess if anyone's listening, like I know I've definitely been there, recently even, where, that VAT gut punch, but then also, cash flow. Like I'm in a seasonal seaside town, like sales significantly drop after the summer season and winters are horrible for us and you want to keep the business going and it really February for me every year is just like, what am I doing with my life? Like how do you keep going when you're in those moments of despair basically as a business owner? People are relying on you for their jobs.
Yeah,
and you've spent
so
all this
many
time
people
building this brand, and now you're like, it just might all go to shit.
Yes, man, it was so stressful. It was the worst. But what can you do? You just have to continue.
And I guess, how did you show up at work? Like, I'm quite transparent with my team, maybe my core team, about like things that are going on. Maybe not everything, but you know, they can probably tell if I'm stressed or in a bad mood, a good mood.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe it is like a female leadership model to, I guess, be more open and honest about when you're feeling a bit emotional.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you showed up in a different way when things were stressful, or did you try to keep a brave face and just power on?
I mean, I think my modus operandi is to kind of shut down. Like I don't
love
start
doing
talking.
that.
I just silence.
Silence.
So yeah, that's kind of what I ended up doing. But it was horrific, truly. Like mental health wise, my ability to communicate like stopped. I had difficulty. Like there was just so much pressure to make sure what I was saying or doing was right that I just couldn't like speak. That was my answer, I guess, to those problems, which is so weird. It's a very weird space to get into. And it's taken like a minute to like roll that back and to recover from it. And you kind of aren't really aware what's happening when you're going through it. And then you end up in a space where you're like, how on earth
did I survive?
Did I end up here? You know? So yeah, it was terrible. But we got the funding. So then
you got the funding, which is great. We're not going to talk about what happened if you hadn't got the funding, because you did. You got it.
Got
Yay! I'm a big fan of saying, what if it all works out?
Yes.
I think it's like a Mel Robbins thing, but I'm addicted to it. So it all worked out.
Yes.
You get this funding. How much funding are we talking about? Are you able to share that?
450,000.
That's, you know, quite a significant chunk of money for a small business.
Yeah.
Did you feel like queen of the world? I've fucking smashed it.
It was amazing. To be fair, like it's really Edward who took on the reins of the finance bro piece. Because it's
what in terms of like when you were in pitching and when you were actually trying to find funding for it?
Like processing. I think people don't talk about funding and what it's actually like.
Yeah.
And as like
tell us,
a hospitality person, you suddenly now need to be able to communicate to finance people about what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it and why they should believe in it. But then you also have to communicate to them in the language that they speak, which is spreadsheets and phrases and terms that you've never heard of before that you have to learn about. So before this, we didn't know what like EBITDA was or CapEx or any of that stuff. Like I didn't even have an Excel subscription kind of vibe. And then you have to do all of these things and it's stressful. And you don't know what the fuck is going on because it's an entirely new sphere of work, you know, that you just need to figure out or your restaurant fails.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pressure, lots of pressure.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
They don't just invest in vibes, unfortunately.
No.
I'm like, but I've got a good feeling about this. Just trust me.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. So you get this 450 grand of funding, which is a significant amount, but as we've established, cash flow in restaurants it comes in and it goes straight back out.
Yeah.
You get this money in.
Yeah.
Does that then help, I guess, sort of settle that outstanding VAT debt and any other outstanding payments you had, or was it actually genuinely able to be used for the growth of the business?
It's being used for the growth of the business because we could either sink all of it into settling current debt, but then the business doesn't grow at all, which you then end up in like basically in the same position you were to begin with because you still have to pay off your new debt.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't investment, it was like a loan from a fund.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely it kind of like hyper drives the concept of growth because now you need to commit to the plans that you set out and keep it moving. So the money came in and it went straight out. But it was good. We spent the money on like doing things in a different way that I've never done. So we used contractors who specialize in commercial kitchens to fit our new kitchen. And we have new equipment And like just the basic things that other people have always kind of done, we're finally doing.
We finally have it.
Number 6, we figured it out.
Number 6. Lucky number 6.
Yeah.
The plan. You keep talking about the plan.
Yes.
What is the plan? Can you share a little bit of it?
Yeah, the plan is now we franchise.
Now we franchise. Okay.
Yes.
And what does that entail?
It entails selling franchises.
Yeah. How does it make you feel about that? Because I guess it's your brand.
Nervous.
Yeah.
Very nervous. I'm nervous about working with other business owners. Like I've been quite insular in terms of what access I give people because I see people ruining it for each other in business relationships. You know, you have a business partner regularly. These things, businesses that are amazing end because of disputes that business partners have with each other. So I've always been quite like, ugh,
Yeah.
let's not do that. So the idea of signing up people who are entrepreneurial, that's why they're buying a franchise, and tying themselves legally to me is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm excited for the new sphere of learning, you know. It's stressful, but it's enjoyable to learn.
Do you have some people already lined up? Like, is it happening? The franchises are happening?
I think so. I mean, they've got the paperwork. They just need to sign it. So we might be opening one in Brixton.
Cool.
Yeah, first franchise.
I think that would do well down there.
Yeah, I think so too. It's good vibes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So obviously we're sat in, would you call this HQ? Like this is the head office?
Yeah.
And there's a really cool sign behind you that says, "Leave me alone, Lisa, made in Newcastle."
Yeah.
What is that?
That is, it was our cocktail bar.
It was a cocktail bar.
Yes, it was a tequila bar.
When was that a part of Pablo Eggsgobao or?
No, it wasn't. It was.
It's obviously a was, so it's closed.
Yes, it's closed.
R.I.P. When was that and what happened?
I want to say 2023.
Okay, so like recently.
Yes, very recently. We opened it and it was actually where we're sitting now. The entrance for it was through the kitchen of Pablo's. And then all of that down there was just seating and up here. This was my warehouse, so we outgrew this and I wanted to continue to use the space. But unfortunately, there were too many operational challenges with this business to make it viable. We were working from 7 a.m. with Pablo's, and then this would open at like 3 p.m. and then go till midnight. So it was way too much to do.
Just from an operational standpoint, was it a successful business commercially?
Well, it was quiet, and we weren't making enough money, and we were burning the candle at both ends. And then about a year in, we were really getting to the end of our wits, and then it started to get busy, and it turned out that we could not handle it busy. We just couldn't. It was not possible, so we pulled the plug on it.
So it wasn't a failure, it was actually more of a capacity thing?
Well, yes. I mean, it's a failure to hire correctly or a failure to recognize one's limits. I think also one of the big lessons that I've had to learn is to remember to focus. Like Pablo's does really well for what it is. You know, it's a great opportunity to grow and learn in every sphere of your life.
You don't need to do a million things.
You don't have to do everything. You can
really
just focus on doing one thing well.
I'm going to take that advice with me. That's going to be my biggest takeaway. I'm like an octopus. I like to do 8 different things at once.
Everything.
It's just not sustainable.
No.
It's just not.
No.
Do one, do it well.
I mean, unless you enjoy doing loads of different things.
I do.
Then, I mean...
I really do.
There you go. Then it's all right.
Emma, this has been super insightful and very inspiring, as I find all of our sessions on staying open. But at the end of every recording, we like to ask 2 questions. And the first one is, what's a bit of advice that you know now that you wish you knew when you first opened?
Focus on the finances and the admin piece. Just focus on it. And if you're not the personality who cares or understands about admin or finance, find someone who does and do it at the beginning so that you don't have years of mess to untangle, or you don't sink your business because of your poor management of very vital factions of a hospitality business. For sure.
I think that's very key. And then the second question we like to ask is, what advice would you give someone who would like to open a restaurant or hospitality business?
The advice I'd give them is just do it. Just do it.
That's a first on Staying Open. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
If you want to do it,
just do it.
Just do it. Make a plan and make it happen. People will tell you that it's dumb or don't do it, but just if it's what you want to do, then go and do it. It's super important. It will change your life to do things for yourself. You should do it. It'll be hard, but you'll be fine. Just do it.
That is the best advice ever. Make it happen. It'll be hard, but
yeah, go for it.
Just go do it. Emma, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for answering all of our questions so openly and honestly, and you've built an incredible business. And I cannot wait to have a Pablo Eggsgobao. I'm starving. Thank you so much for listening. This podcast exists to share the stories behind restaurants, the reality of building them, running them, and the passion to keep them alive. If you've enjoyed this episode, you can follow us at stayingopen.podcast for more conversations, behind-the-scene moments, and upcoming guests. I'm Natalia Ribbe, and this has been Staying Open. Let's be honest, cash flow is something almost every independent hospitality business worries about. One thing I like about Square is that they don't just handle your payments and point of sale, they also help you access your money faster, with next-day payouts available as standard. And when you're looking to grow, they offer funding options through Square Loans and Cash Advance. Square does the Square stuff, so you don't have to. Right now, they're offering up to £4,000 in free hardware to eligible businesses to get you started. Head to square.com to learn more. Square Loans and Square Cash Advance are not regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Terms and conditions apply.